We always like it when the Sulicks join us in the kitchen, but today they've come to the couches to share their love story. As you may remember, they own the Mulb in Manchester. I'm so happy to have the both of you here, Danita and Bob Sulick. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so this is a love story that's going to be 33 years in the making this year.
33.
September 27th is the anniversary.
Yeah.
I guess my first question is, I always love to see when couples make it to that long. How do you make it to that long? A sense of humor?
Dead silence. We're getting extra points from our therapist just for being here.
Oh, that is fantastic. I love it.
No, we
know each other a long time.
Yeah, and working together is a struggle, but we seem to have worked it out.
How long did you court each other before you got married?
Well, we worked in a restaurant in Manchester together, and we knew each other. In fact, I knew Danita. She says she doesn't, since she was about 4, because I used to hang out with her brother. So we were two Manchester families, and we got to know each other that way.
And I went to school with his sister Jane.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? What's the age difference? Is it
4 years?
4 years. That's not so bad.
I'm younger.
Of course you're younger.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you started. Who went to who and said, "I'd like to"?
Well, we were working. I was a chef. She was working as a server, and we started going out at night. You know, she's got a good story. When we went to David's one night in Manchester, which was the old hangout, and we were dancing together. And at the end of that dance, tell them what I said.
Well, there's a little history to it. We had gone out for about, I don't know, 6, 7 months, and then we broke up.
Oh.
And then, so as friends, we would always go out, and we actually became better friends.
After we broke up,
we became better friends. And then one night we were at David's, and he remembers that we were dancing. I don't, but he sat next to me at the bar after, and he said, "You know, Danita, if we both turn 40, neither one of us is married. Do you think we could get married?" And I said, "Sure." So I went home and I told my parents, "You don't need to worry about me. I can marry Bob Sulick when I turn 40 if something else doesn't happen for me."
That is so great. I love it.
Yep.
Paul and I have that rule too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I said if we're still apart at 70, we're moving in together, and that's
70?
the end. Yeah. Well, I figured we only got about 10 years, 10, 15 years.
No, but when we had broken up the first time, Bob wanted me to pronounce how much I loved him.
Oh boy.
And I was an awkward dater, so there was no pronouncement. And we went out one night, and we got in he had this big red Ford truck. He went to take me home, and he goes, "You know, I like you a lot, but there's just no spark." And I said, "Yep." And I said, "Well, you better take me home then." And then we, like I said, we still worked together after that for it was probably another year before we dated again.
Yeah, you moved to Texas for a while, and then she came back, and we got together again. I don't know. We both come from similar big families with a lot of...
How big? How many siblings?
Well, I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Wow, that is a big family.
Yeah, I'm 5. I'm the middle.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we were kind of similar backgrounds as far as how we interacted at dinners.
Same church, same schools, We grew up in the same town.
Yeah, it was convenient. But it worked out well.
It was convenient.
How do you love that? How do you love that?
It's convenient.
I love it. But 33 years later, and how many children?
3.
3 children.
And a grandchild.
And a grandchild,
Yeah.
so that's got to make you happy.
Yeah, he does.
Tell me about the challenges of working together, because I don't think most couples know the challenges of doing that.
It's funny, because Danita has run the restaurant since its inception 15 years ago, and I had a job where I traveled all over the country, and I'd recently retired back in September. And so now we're really together for the first time, and I think I've watched her over the last 6 months, and I've seen things that she does. She really runs the business, and she runs it really well. And I've had to accommodate the fact that I'm not always right.
Okay.
And she is right a lot.
I am always right.
And I've tried to get her to think that way about me as well. So we have our moments, but it's just a matter of patience and talking to each other.
Every couple argues. Do you guys argue?
Never.
Never.
You ask my staff, we never argue. We were at an award ceremony back over the summer, and the woman from Munson's got up and she said, "The one thing that my husband and I have learned over the years is never to argue in front of our staff." And I looked at him and I said, "We better start practicing that."
Yeah.
So we're working on it, but it's a struggle.
It's a struggle. But do you ever, my rule was you never go to bed angry. Do you have
we don't have that rule.
No, we don't have that rule, but we don't go. You know,
we're fine.
Yeah.
We get along.
Yeah, we get along.
What's one thing you love about Bob?
Bob is a funny man.
Yeah.
He has a good sense of humor. He's always been a great person.
Not a long answer there, honey.
Well, no,
Here we go.
What do you love about somebody? You just love them.
You just love them. Bob?
Yeah, I like Danita's enthusiasm. I like the fact that she's very creative. She's a very, very good chef and has become a better chef than me in most areas. And I've been impressed that she's learned that. She's extremely loyal. And she will go to bat for anybody, and she's extremely generous in her time, especially when she sees somebody that really needs some help.
What do you say to young couples out there that are starting off? What's your advice?
Oh.
Don't go in the restaurant business.
Don't go in
That's
the
nuts.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's first. Don't go in the restaurant business.
Yeah. Find someone you can laugh with. You know, you can't laugh with them, and if they're not your friends, you have to be friends with someone.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
You got to be friends.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're happy together, and I think we've had an interesting, but probably typical marriage in a lot of ways, but it's worked out well for us. And our kids mean more to us in the world. And then my grandson, who's 3.5, is just the love of our life, and that makes an awful lot up.
You guys have a good life, and we're
We
very
do have
happy
a
to
good
have you in our lives.
And we love you guys.
Thank you for
This has been a
sharing
pleasure.
thank you for sharing your love story with us. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.